Happy day, students. Today we shall learn lesson 4 from the Moments book in the Kingdom of Fools. This story was written by Krishnaswamy Ramanujan, popularly known as A.K. Ramanujan, who was an Indian poet and scholar of Indian literature who wrote in both English and Kannada. Ramanujan was a poet, scholar, professor, a philologist, folklorist, translator, and he was also a playwright. He was born on 16th March 1929 in Mysuru in Karnataka. He died in the year 1993 on July 13th in Chicago, Illinois, in United States. His full name was Attipate Krishnaswamy. Her spouse was Molly Daniels Ramanujan, and he has won so many awards like Padma Shri, MacArthur Fellowship, and Sahitya Academy Awards, and many more. So, we shall proceed into the lesson now. It is about the kingdom of fools, where even the king was the most foolish person of all. It is a story of a kingdom where the king and the minister both were foolish. Both the king and the ministers, both were foolish. They had ordered that night be treated as day and all people should work after dark. So throughout the day they will sleep, at night they will start working. They should go to bed as soon as the sun came up. King's order was followed by people by fear of death. If the king told very clearly to his peoples that if they did not follow the orders passed by him, they will be hanged to death. So they were all scared. So they followed the rules which was imposed on them. Next, about the disciple. We have three main characters in this. One is the disciple, the guru, and the king. Okay, coming to the disciple. The disciple was a simple but greedy fellow. He was a very greedy fellow. He followed his guru everywhere. Wherever his guru goes, he will follow him and listened to him. However, once he could not resist the temptation of good and cheap food available in the kingdom of fools. So he is a foodie. He is a food lover. He could not resist the good food. He did not pay heed to his guru's warning and stayed back. He stayed back in the kingdom. He did not listen to his guru's words. His greed almost cost him his life, but quickly regained sense. He had faith in his guru's powers. That is why he first recalled him in thoughts and then behaved according to the plan devised by him. The character also brings a smile to the reader by the manner in which he grows fat after eating bananas, rice, wheat, and ghee. Next, we have the Guru. The Guru was a very wise man who never succumbed to any temptation. He was quick to judge that his disciple and he were in the kingdom of fools, knowing that the behavior of foolish people is unpredictable. He decided to leave the city immediately. He did not get tempted like his disciple did by one dudu price for everything. In that kingdom, he also knew that foolish people should be tackled wisely. He did not try to reason with the king regarding the innocence of his disciple. Instead, he flattered the king with his false praise and obtained the freedom of both his disciple and the kingdom. He earns readers' appreciation for his intelligence and presence of mind. Okay, now what trouble starts now? Okay, once a thief is breaking to a merchant's house. In that merchant's house, the wall is collapsing, and the thief's brother is blaming the merchant for his brother's death, and king is calling the merchant. Like this, the story goes. After this, how did the trial go on? The merchant says it is a fault of the bricklayer, means who built the wall. The bricklayer holds a dancing girl responsible. So he in turn is blaming the dancing girl who responsible for the poor construction of the wall. The dancing girl in turn blames the goldsmith. The goldsmith in turn accuses the rich merchant. So each one is accusing the other person that they are not responsible for the mistake whatever has happened. The merchant was none other than the original owner of the house whose wall had fallen. Yes, we will see about the unique trial, how the people were punished in that kingdom. The thief broke into a rich merchant's house. While he was running away with the money, the wall of the house collapsed and killed the thief. So the wall of the house collapsed and killed the thief. The thief's brother blamed the rich merchant for his death. So, thief's brother blamed the merchant for his brother's death. The merchant blamed the bricklayer who built a weak wall. So, the merchant is blaming the person, the mason who built a very weak wall. He held the dancing girl. So, in turn, the mason who built the weak wall, in turn, is blaming the dancing girl responsible for distracting him. Means when he was building the wall, the dancing girl was walking this way and that way, which distracted the mason when he was building that wall. She blamed the goldsmith who did not make his ornaments in time. So the dancer in turn is blaming the goldsmith who had promised to deliver the ornaments to the dancer on time, but he did not. So she was walking to and fro to the goldsmith's place to get her ornaments. But he pleaded that a rich merchant pressed him to make ornaments early for a family wedding. Now, in turn, the goldsmith is blaming the rich merchant who had put pressure on him to make the ornaments for his family wedding. Now, this rich merchant was the father of the owner of the house. So, who is that rich merchant now? He was the father of the owner of the house. She blamed the goldsmith who did not make her ornaments. So, they found that each one is blaming the other person for their problems. So, we will see about the judgment. Justice had come full circle, thought the king. So, again, the merchant was to be blamed, rich merchant was to be blamed. He ordered the merchant to be executed. A new stake was prepared for the execution, but it turned out to be too big for the merchant. So that stake wherein he has to be hanged, that stake was too big for the merchant. So they did not know what to do now. The king orders to find a fat man to fit in the stake. See, the foolish king, instead of punishing the person who has done a mistake, they are finding a man to fit into the stake. The disciple who had grown fat, eating rice and ghee and sweets for one dudu, was selected. Who is that? The disciple who had come with his guru to this place. The disciple was shocked and remembered the words of his guru. He was shocked and he recollected the words told by his guru. Now, when he remembered about his guru, guru is coming to his rescue. The disciple remembered his guru who appeared at once. They started fighting. Each wanted to be executed first. So the guru and the disciple started fighting. Who has to be executed first? The guru explained to the king, whoever died to the stake first would be reborn as the king of the country. Whoever is dying first will be reborn as the king of the country again. Whoever died next will be reborn as a minister. So whoever is dying next will be reborn as a minister. The king and the minister consulted and decided to take their place. So the original king and the minister, they had a consultation among themselves and decided which place they have to take. The king and the minister were executed next morning. The guru and the disciple were their new king and minister. The foolish king and the foolish minister was executed the next day. They believed that they will be reborn as king and the minister in the next birth. So, which was not true. So, the people of that country selected the guru and the disciple as the new king and minister. They all changed old, means the day will be considered as day and the night will be considered as night. So, what message we get from this story? The story is a folk tale and gives two messages. The first message is that one should stay away from foolish people, else one is bound to suffer. So we should know with whom we are having friendship with. The second message is that in order to tackle foolish people, one should employ wisdom, not logic. We should always have presence of mind. With regard to this story, the Guru does not argue or reason the innocence of the disciple. Rather, he flatters the king and manages to convince him that the new stake was lucky. He not only saves the life of his disciple but also rids the kingdom of the foolish king and his silly behavior. In addition, he becomes the next king and his disciple the next minister. Hope you are clear with the lesson, children. Thank you.